Good evening, all. We will just wait for a minute or so since there is one another presenter is about to join us, and then we can continue then after. Thanks for your patronage. So good evening, all. So here, let's welcome our honorable speaker Chetna from Valency Network. And basically, Chetna is an experienced cybersecurity consultant and GRC practitioner for over 10 plus years. Of having expertise in the governance, risk, compliance, and technical security assurance. She's an ISO 27001 and 42001 lead auditor by certification and practice. She has led multiple engagement in ISMS implementation, audit readiness, control maturity assessment, and cyber risk consulting with together with the security awareness initiatives. With a unique blend of audit-led governance expertise and hands-on technical strength in WAPT, OT, and IoT security. She specializes in aligning business risk compliances, obligations, and operational security control into actionable cyber resilience strategies. She would be speaking about ransomware prevention and how we I mean, today's session is more about ransomware threat landscape from the detection to prevention, covering how attacks originate, propagate, and impact organizations. It will provide practical insight into early detection indicator, incident response consideration, preventive controls, and governance-led cybersecurity strategy to strengthen organizations' resilience. Participants all will specifically gain the real world attack scenarios, detection mechanism, incident response tab, and preventive control across the people, process, and technology. Over to you, Chetnaji. Thank you.
Yes, hello everyone. So you can see my screen.
Yeah, it's visible.
Perfect. So thank you for this introduction, Vishal. Uh, I guess we are going to start with the agenda directly. So if we can proceed with my presentation, I'll brief you about the agenda, which has my introduction. I'll like to introduce myself in short words, apart from what Vishal did. So this entire presentation is gonna be of 45 minutes. There are 45 slides, few of statistics. Then we'll have case studies, which I personally have worked upon as part of my career. Then understanding of how ransomware spreads, how is the infection percolated within a network, what are the new trends and dangers of ransomware, and what exactly should be the solution adopted by the industries to prevent it. So 45 minutes presentation, 15 minutes Q&A, so that we cover it in time. So allow me to introduce myself again. My name is Chetna Pangare. I'm Chief Information Officer and Chief Information Security Officer of Valency Networks Private Limited. I have been in cybersecurity for 11 years, and I am myself a certified lead auditor, ISO 27001 lead auditor, ISO 42001 lead auditor, and I have a huge amount of practical experience of implementing, auditing a variety of GRC compliances within India, outside India, for Kuwait, GCC countries, European countries, and America, of course. So that's about me. Now, introducing about my company. Valency Networks Private Limited is 16 years old. We just completed 16 years in March. Our headquarters is in Pune, and we have a lot of partner offices across US, Belgium, Kuwait, Mauritius. We are a very niche, very hardcore team of 17 techies, which is a combo of both ethical hackers as well as auditors. We have now approximate customer base of 600 plus spread across multiple domains like manufacturing, healthcare, SDLC, AI, and lots more. So this was about me and my company. Uh, Before going to our actual presentation, before I share the statistics, my own experience, which we have dealt with dealing ransomware cases, no names will be mentioned during this presentation to respect the due privacy of those organizations. And the facts and figures collected for this whole presentation are both a combination of global statistics plus our own survey. While as an organization we handle so many cases, or just even while we are doing vulnerability assessment, addressing GRC compliances, whatever we found, based on that the survey is collected. So guys, if you don't mind to save the bandwidth and ensure the presentation goes smooth, I'll disable my camera so that the entire focus is on the presentation. So before we start, I would like to have a few questions. How many from the audience have actually faced some attack of ransomware, either by personally or as your organization or in your peers? How many of you actually recovered from those attacks? And how many of you have heard about killing Akira ransomware? I'm very sure you must have already read about it and heard about it. So, what is the statistic which we see? So, across the world, US is the most. So, this is a country-wise statistics that we have identified. US is the first global target of ransomware attacks, out of which 1,500 plus are disclosed victims in 2025. Next is Canada. In third is Germany among the whole European countries. UK has high frequency of attacks. India, being us, we are emerging because of our high growth in digitization and global market share. So 3% of global ransomware impact comes within India. North America and Europe, if you combine it, majority of ransomware attack victims are there. But obviously, US is being the number one. Attacks are increasing in Asia Pacific regions, India, Japan, and Singapore. And global victims crossed 7,400 disclosed cases in 2025. So just last year, which is like 4 months before, 7,400 where attacks were disclosed, not in newspapers surely, but among the technical world where people in corporates were uh, sharing their knowledge, kind of threat intelligence. So that is the world statistics. Now think about the finances. How much money is being spent in ransomware? Just because it's ransom, so there's money involved. 183, 108, 813 million ransomware payments were done in 2024. Actually, the transactions which completed costs around $813 million. 1.82 million were demanded as ransom by, if you collectively combine all the attacks over the globe, 2.7 million average recovery cost per attack. As in, take any attack that you say, Akira or anyone, if somebody was impacted by that attack, let's assume, how much money they had to spend to recover from an attack. So that cost globally is $2.7 million. 40% major cybersecurity incidents involve ransomware. So, cybersecurity incidents, if you take, 40% is coming from ransomware. The rest of the 60%, you can say it's for phishing, this, that, and whatever you want to put into. Cyber attacks cause multi-trillion global economic disruption. So Most of it won't make it to the newspapers, but that is how it is. And global damages project to reach 265 billion annually by 2031. This is the AI prediction. So agentic AI models are saying that ransomware, the way it is impacting by 2023, the whole ransomware business is gonna grow to $65 billion. Now let's talk about our own selves. Like as I told you already, 3% of the global ransomware victims are placed within India. Thankfully, it's just 3%, but 3% to our population is not a small size. 31% has spiked in early 2026. We can only assume what could be the reason of ransomware spike, given the global scenario of all the wars and cross-border grievances or bad things that are happening. 30%, 31% spike is seen in 2026. 265 million cyber attacks were recorded in 2025. Certain was last year completely busy into handling lakhs of such cases. So, Certain, everybody knows. I'm very sure ISACA audience is well educated. Certain is our empaneled government entity. They were having lakhs of incidents to handle last year. Maharashtra is the most high impact region from entire country. What were the key entry points? So ransomware needs an entry point. The highest, easiest way for it was phishing. Then RDPs. So we know how many RDPs we are using. And supply chain attack. Supply chain attack meaning team viewer, any desk, etc. So phishing, RDP, and supply chain attack. Who were the targeted industries? IT services, healthcare, manufacturing. Healthcare, manufacturing, and fishing. If you combine, that is the biggest risk zone within ransomware industry, because mostly healthcare and manufacturing people are not IT savvy. I will not say tech savvy. They are not IT educated, and hence falling prey for phishing and not hardening your RDP. All these important points they miss out, and that's why they are the most targeted sectors. Now, these are following cases I'll be sharing as handled by me being part of Valency Networks. So, 20 January 2022, a software company, was very software, I wouldn't need name, they are based in Pune rather. They had, they are one of their laptop got attacked by ransomware and the code was entirely lost. 1 month effort what they put into creating a code for their customer, it was lost because backup was not there. Entry point of ransomware not could not be found out because it was quite an old laptop. The Windows that they were using was quite old, the older version. Maybe it was Windows 7 or Vista. I'm not remembering now. So that is where that one laptop got infected, and eventually two, three other laptops were infected, thereby losing access to their code database. So 1 month work was gone in that case. The second case is a car showroom in Mumbai. So there's a very big famous car dealer in Mumbai who has multiple location across Maharashtra. So they to have a synchronized asset inventory, keep on which location, which showroom has how many cars in place, or for all these details, they had their offices connected across 6 locations. So one of the office through a remote connectivity, meaning MTNLS line connected all the offices, and one of the employees, the vendor, the the remote access tool that the vendor gave, they were using it blindly, which got hacked. So the ransom was created for that particular vendor service, which got infected, and from there on, because of interconnectivity in their locations, almost 38 laptops, desktops got encrypted and they lost their asset inventory data because backup was not there again. This was a very good case. I personally liked working on this because how many of you have ever visited a manufacturing company where there are big huge Fanuc robots. Fanuc is a company and robot is like a very huge, like a 10 feet robotic arm which picks a gear wheel from one place and rotates it and drops it at some 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 container where the storage has to happen. So that robot was coded to bend, close its claw, pick that gear wheel, shift, rotate in a particular angle, and drop it into the container. So while dropping, it had to release the claw. So all these steps which I explained: bend, close your claw, pick with that, not to crush it and not to be too loose so that the gear wheel doesn't fall off. Rotate in particular angle where exactly the containers are left. Release it with some same height and pressure so that the containers doesn't fall off. All this is a code. So all this code, the Fanuc robot got internally corrupted and the code was lost. So the robot was standing still, holding a gear wheel for around a month. So nobody was able to understand, nobody was able to get access to this robot hand to get the production going. And the reason later on it came out that they called the whole manufacturer, the robotic arm manufacturer whom they provided the fan of people, they reassembled it, they rewrite the assembly code, and then the production started. So for a month, production was dead on their manufacturing floor. Why? Because some guy in the IT room downloaded some game from a malicious website. So from that malicious website, random ransomware got its way into their computer and eventually it spread across the internal network where IT laptops and Fanuc robot laptops was not segregated. So can you imagine segregation of network can also lead to such a huge damage. So the laptops did nothing got encrypted there, but the robots got impacted. So it took for like us a really good amount of time to crack this case from where exactly this malware came, which is this malware and ransomware, etc., etc. So that's it. So one we saw the commonality in all the three cases. If you must have seen, the backup is not there. So people forgot to take backup, and that's why their business could not complete. So many such cases into hospitals, retail, banks, and individual laptops, we keep on getting to solve it. But the common reason over here is they don't have backup. That's why either pay or lose your data. That's the situation. Lose your data as well as use your business, lose your reputation. So getting impacted with ransomware, we need to take it seriously, especially in the India statistics, which I showed was 3% of global ransomware contributes from India. Actually, rather, I would say we have been impacted so much. Like we are, India has been a target for has become such a favorite target that 3% of our population goes through this problem. Hence, we as industry experts and techies, we need to get serious about this. We need to educate ourselves and in turn educate our organizations and as auditors, if there are few auditors in the audience, I feel we should be telling the companies wherever we go for audits what they should and should not do to prevent themselves from getting attacked. So this all thing has been covered in this whole presentation any which way. So first, let me address how does a ransomware spread. This is a very simple animation that I've created. Ransomware, if you categorize top four, the top three I showed you already, the top four ways of entering ransomware in your network or on your laptop is USB. If you are use USB, you are using USBs left, right, and center. You go to cyber cafe to take a printout. You inject your USB, he prints it and gives you back. Or if you exchange your pen drives with your friends to get the movies from them, all this wherever your USB travels. So it's like it's so unhygienic, it's so unsanitized that you never know what is sitting on your USB. So USB once gets into a laptop, which is part of a network, that is one. Second, unpatched systems. Needless to say, WannaCry or Loki, all these were very hot examples of unpatched systems. One exploited Windows, one exploited Java. Drive-by downloads, same. The IT manufacturer, if I example I gave you, some IT guy wanting to play a simple online game downloads it from a very dirty, malicious website. That's a very easy entry. So we can never know. Even if you're running antiviruses, believe me, antiviruses are not that smart to detect this drive-by download malwares. And phishing. Phishing is becoming the biggest hot trend because of, you know, the war situation. As less I should talk about, I know, but phishing emails, I'm very sure in your corporates you must be, someone who is even working in IT, you must be getting a lot of complaints. Ki this is a phished email, I'm getting flagged, or they must be reporting it to you if that escalation process is in your organization. So all these four, no matter how many uh, rudimentary old school you find it, but believe me, USB unpatched system phishing are still a very common cause of ransomware attack. Now, entry, ransomware needs an entry. He is always, think of it like the dirty pests at your home. They always are lookout for a entry into a house. But once they enter in, how they spread themselves, we'll understand in a very short way. So there is some bad guy, someone who wants to earn money without doing anything. He writes a simple code. Uh, let's remember Loki, the Java vulnerability. There was one Java loophole which was there, or WannaCry. Take that as simple. So WannaCry Windows related one DLL was vulnerable. Someone someday just got a Eureka movement in their life. They wrote a fancy code and they store he that guy, or that person deploys it on his own personal server. So and from there, some way or the other, it could be phishing, pen drive, uh, drive down download, or unpatched system. So in case of WannaCry, it was exactly Windows unpatched systems. So from his server, it gets into one of those computers using that outdated Windows, like that. So it gets into one system in your network. So imagine you're just a very small hub of 15 odd laptops or desktops in one network, and someone happens to use that older version. It gets downloaded there. That machine itself gets corrupted, and then eventually the data gets encrypted on it. If it is not, if it like if it is not killed by that anti if that laptop had antivirus or some mechanism, anti-malware mechanism, and it was unsuccessful to block it, first it itself dies. And in that, after it encrypting that data, it tries to spread among other connected pieces in that same network. But this successful encryption, whenever it happens, that ransomware locks it with a key, and that key is been sent to the hacker. So this is the key with which the hackers or the bad guys try to do a deal, try to strike a trade with you. How to get my data back? So if you're a company, you will get a fancy message on your screen one day when you power it on, and that key is already been sent to that guy. And in return of money, that hacker is supposed, bad guys are supposed to give you the key to decrypt your data and have access to your data. And if in case not, you don't want to pay, then you format your machine and otherwise. So this is how in general malwares are spread across. Someone somewhere gets a Eureka movement, writes a bad code, puts it on his server. From there, he has to just wait wherever it gets installed or find its way and spreads itself. And whenever any machine is getting infected, that person keeps on getting the decryption key, which is then shared to be for the money. Now, the ransom part, the money part that I was saying, the hacker has a key, but now how to get your own data? There were files on a system, those got encrypted. Or the computer also, in case one of the cases where we went there, what happened was it was a pest food manufacturing plant. So those people used to manufacture food for the pets. So that manufacturing plant was infected by a malware. They identified it. They segregated it, so their computer got locked. Then they got a display warning also. So they knew that they are infected, and the moment they said, they removed the LAN cable from that laptop. Money warning was also displayed in that same message. So uh, I'm not sure how lucky any of you is on this call. You can actually, if you get to see now in my next present slides, I have a screenshot of those. How does the actual ransom warning looks like? So your laptop is encrypted and they demand money in that same message. And no matter how many times you on and off your system, always that screen comes on your computer. A time limit is set by how much time you should, uh, how much time you take to, uh, reboot it or do anything. But if you don't isolate it from rest of the network, then it spreads within your network. So files get encrypted. Sometimes the laptop is also locked, and only the DOS screen comes whenever you power it on, demanding showing that your file, either it's a popular ransomware, you will see the name which ransomware has locked your files, and the medium how to contact the hacker and with what amount of money. There's a time limit. If it spreads, then you have to, there will be more machines on which you will have to get the warning. And if the ransom is paid, assuming it's a ethical hacker, release the computer or still destroy the data. So it's like, it's been said in the market, even if you pay the ransom, there are no chances of getting the data. And even if you get your data, you should not keep the machine as is, because there are still chances that the ransom will reoccur. And if you don't pay the money, if you just don't have money where to pay from, destroy the data. And actually the hacker already has your data, so the data, whatever was the data on it, is already gone and sold on the dark web. So this is the ransom cycle. Things on a computer get infected, they get encrypted, if the laptop gets lost, you get a warning, what malware hit me, what ransomware hit me, what money is expected. If it is your personal laptop, good. If not, then it is already spread into your network. If you pay money, you have a good chance of getting the money. If not, you have lost the data, as well as your data has been leaked on dark web. That's a given guarantee. So as told you, I'm able to share with you how exactly the warnings looks like. So this is the WannaCry decryptor. So see, if you see over here, payment will be raised on blah blah blah. How much time is left with you to give me money? That is there, and your files will be lost in like 6 days, 23 minutes. Then, if in the bottom, if you check, he's accepting Bitcoins. So this hacker did not want money; he wanted Bitcoins. Send 300 worth Bitcoins on this address. Check payment, decrypt. So decrypt is only gonna work after you pay him. So this is how the WannaCry decryptor looked like. I have few more. This is the crypto locker. So everywhere you will find commonality. How much time is left with you to pay, and then where to pay and what to pay me in what, as in like Bitcoin or money. So to retrieve the private key, you need to pay zero point 0.5 Bitcoin. So this is quite a cheap deal actually. Next example is about this guy is again asking for Bitcoin refund. And can anyone tell me which malware is this? I think it was not a very popular one, but again, similar kind of notice. There are rookie hackers who write something, but eventually they hit the jackpots. So this is one of those. And Bad Rabbit, of course. Bad Rabbit also demanded 0.05 Bitcoin. So yeah, that's how the ransom warning looks like on your computer whenever you on it, off it, and if it's infected, no matter what you do, that screen will always be there. Now the paying part. So as I said it already, Not all ransomware asks money, direct money to your bank accounts. That used to happen, but now everyone wants to deal in Bitcoin. So malware hackers, they give you an address, they demand you to give me this much amount of Bitcoin. So in India, you already know the Bitcoin market is so expensive. Bank transfers is not that obsolete. Still, malware attacks do ask have people to pay in bank account. So you get a bank account details flashing on your screen where you give the money that they demand, and the moment money is transferred and you try to raise any complaint, or you try to alert cyber people or lawyers, and of course that bank account is never from India. Despite of that, even if you give a warning, the moment money is transferred, that bank account is deleted. So the plan is really very crafty, and believe me, I have actually lived through this entire cycle. You just cannot have a trace of that bank account ever again. So we really feel like, come on, bank account, opening a bank account is such a hassle, so much documentation, so much KYC is been done. But yes, you cannot. And this case where it was really very shocking for me as personally also, it was in Scotland. The Scotland account, we tried to actually, get trace of, that account. How can you delete it? Who was the owner? Who created it? No information was able to be retrieved. If this bank account ever existed. Yep, that's how. So ransomware basically asks you in Bitcoin or simple dollar money or pounds, whatever it is. Now, few names of famous hackers. Famous, why I would say ransomware, because these ransomware earned a lot. Whoever wrote it, they earned a lot of amount of money. Loki was the biggest one who earned huge money from ransomware attacks. Second is WannaCry. So in the bracket, if you see, I have told you the means also of its entry point. Loki used to enter using phishing links, download a .java or .js file. So it could be, PDF.js. So nowadays, you must have seen the JS or PHP files attachment में कोई देता ही नहीं है. But Loki, his entry point was phishing. WannaCry entered through, obviously, Windows and patch systems. Simple Locker, gibberish, dirty downloads, dry downloads that you did. Petya, this was also a very huge one who earned a lot of money. Its entry point was using phishing and unpatched systems both. It's very easy, go to internet, or why go to internet? Use any agent, AI agent now, and you can study multiple ransomware attacks and how do they enter, what is their entry point, how do they encrypt the data. It's a very technical study and interesting study. If you get time, go into it, dig up any popular ones and learn about them. Technically, how does it encrypt the data, and why is it exactly not possible to retrieve your data? So one part of it is already in my next slides. So what are the new trends in ransomware? They spread through remote control software. Remote control software, SSH, TeamViewer, RDP, AnyDesk. So this is the new trend, along with phishing, of course. Phishing and unpatched system, that it's there. It's like those are the OGs of ransomware entry points. But through remote control software systems like TeamViewer, AnyDesk, which we so commonly use in, like, take my remote and give me support kind of thing. So they are actually vulnerable. Hackers around the world, they know that what is the user rate, how many people globally are using TeamViewer and AnyDesk, and they are it's like their favorite job to write some malwares which exploit some vulnerability in these TeamViewer and AnyDesk services, so that it's easily accepted and installed in your system. SSH and RDP are also one of those. SSH through PuTTY, SSH on your cloud servers, be it Linux or Windows. Those are also very huge popular entry points of ransomware. Now about the encryption part. So main loophole ransomware. is it encrypts your data. It just doesn't allow your own data to be used by you. So the newer ransomware these days are using AES-256 encryption. And the key, after encrypting your laptop, your hard disk with AES-256, the key, its private key, which will actually decrypt the data for yourself, which has been sent to hacker, as I showed you in previous slides. To to break that AES-256 key, this is my estimation of how long will it take. So you said कि I don't want to give ransom only. मेरे पास है ही नहीं पैसे. That's fine. So either you format or you try and attempt by calling a super expert or whatever you get help from. 256 is nothing but 256-bit key. It takes approx 10 raised to 256 microseconds. So that only means that 10 raised to 242 years, which is like infinite combinations to try. So 10 raised to 256 per microsecond combination you need to try, which will only take you to a lifetime to ask, get that particular combination of private key which will decrypt your data. Uh, Sorry, I see someone asking a question, but I guess question around Q&A will be given time later.
Yeah, we will go to Q&A for time.
Yeah, yeah. So please wait, be patient. So yeah, this is how the dynamics is. To even break this key, it takes huge amount of time. So forget about trying it yourself to get a combination of the private key which is gonna give you your data. Now, what are the dangers? Uh, but obvious, data confidentiality, money, and reputation. Just imagine a bank, any bank, any reputed bank, कोई भी private bank ले लो. If they encrypt your data, the confidentiality is lost. Why? Because hacker has encrypted it, fine, but he has already has the access. He has data copied it over to his own server, and he has already sold it on dark web. So he's taking money. He's earning money twice. First, if you pay him ransom. Second, it's already on dark web where he has sold for some amount. So confidentiality is gone. Money is gone. If at all our organization decides to pay you money, decides to pay the bad guys money in form of ransom. And reputation is always at stake. No business, no entity, no customer is gonna trust you, no end user is gonna buy your services. So you can only imagine. Or if not that, I mean, the robotic example, if I gave you for the Fanuc robot example case study, over there reputational loss was not disclosed, or it was in the capacity of that organization to mitigate it because it is internal, but they had a very huge monetary loss. Can you imagine a, a manufacturing platform which runs 24/7? Manufacturers usually work in shifts, day night, so day and night their plant is working, and one day one robot just doesn't want to work for a whole month. The kind of losses they faced, it was impossible for them to recover from those. And that is a very very much case of a Maharashtra manufacturing industry, let me tell you that. So what are the downside, the very bad downside? Confidentiality, money, and reputation, and trust of customers, of course, as I already said. How to come out of it, of how to ensure you're protected from it. So to recover from the attack, first and foremost, if you educate your people to isolate that machine from rest of the rest of the network, and also turn off its own Wi-Fi or internet LAN connection. Either way, so it should be completely a standby machine, not part of your LAN, not part of internet either. And if you do not take backup if the using pen drive or hard disk or remote or any other share, because see that's the whole purpose, right? If something is infected, you have to isolate it so much so that it's not part of anyone else and nothing goes into it also. Even if you try to put in your pen drive and take in a hard disk, not pen drive, if hard disk or pen drive is used to recover your data, that itself is also get corrupted. And we have seen this very much. So no, there's no chance of recovery there. Run antivirus to see if you get at least a name. So sometimes, as I showed you in one of the screens, we are not able to identify, or that ransomware is so new that you were the first ones who got impacted. That's why you don't even know what to call it. So run some antivirus and try to get, if they are able to, the antivirus is able to detect you in something. And if you have the backup, simply format that system, kill that hard disk, kill that hard disk in such a way that hard delete is done. It's not like just format the OS and reinstall it. Hard delete, kill the OS also from that machine and then install everything from scratch. Write the OS and then all the packages, and then ultimately backup from the backup your original data, restore it on that machine. Otherwise, that infected machine is of no use for you. And if you don't have backup, again, then you're just qualify yourself as victim. So to recover, what to do? I have given you the steps. Isolation, or isolating that machine. Everyone knows it. It's very old school and very infected. But what's the new thing? You should turn off its internet also. No internet access, no LAN access, and nothing else external touches that. Meaning a pen drive, a hard disk, or a CD, or someone tried to take a remote of it. Don't ever do that. The only way is on that machine itself. Even if you have an antivirus, you could run it, because sometimes, as I said, only few files, one of the drives gets encrypted, not the entire laptop. If your entire laptop is encrypted, then you won't be able to even run anything else. The moment you power on your machine, that warning will come. So there's a variety in which ransomwares behave. Some gives you a facility ki only D drive is gone, but some take hold of something else. Yeah, if no backup, then call expert to try your best to decrypt it. But in previous slide, I already showed you what are the chances of you getting the exact combination of that key to decrypt it or pay the ransom. This is your this is your recovery plan. Cool. Okay. Yeah. Now, how to prevent yourself from, to begin with, I should not get infected from ransomware. What should I do? So I have divided my suggestions and solutions in three ways, three domains or sections, you call it. What you need to do in terms of people, what you can do in terms of platform, and what you should do in terms of processes. So what I mean by saying people, platform, and processes, I'll explain. So to prevent yourself from getting ransomware impacted at people level, you should educate them about phishing. There are phishing simulators, there are phishing services, there are many SaaS applications which help you simulate a phishing drive on your own employees to get their awareness level tested. How much do my people know? My employees are aware of about phishing. Will they really click something or not? You can do those. First and foremost, obvious, disable your USBs. Your corporate assets should disable USBs, and training. So you should train them about basic, like similarly to what we are doing about what is ransomware. We all know, but and learning it from conceptually so that they understand how it works technically. So for people level, phishing is the common entry point of ransomware. That's why there are phishing exercises, phishing simulator services, which you can do for them. Block your USBs, train them. Now, next section was platforms. Platform meaning your operating system, your web stacks, Java was infected. So right from OS patches, application patches, software packages, everything needs to be patched. So people usually think Windows patched hai is good enough. No, operating system level, application layer, web stack layer, anything else you can think. Networking devices like your Wi-Fi switches, routers, printers. So printer also has a malware. I'm not sure. After this session, go and read about or ask any AI agent how many malwares are there or how many malware incidents have happened because of printer issues. So there are particular, specific make and manufacture of printers which are also entry points of malware attacks. Firewall audit you can do, so that the car showroom example which I gave, in that where there were 6 locations. So from one location, one laptop, how it percolated to all its other locations, that could have been prevented if the direct line of access, network access, would have been not been there within the network. So supposedly there was one showroom in Mumbai, Bandra, and there was another showroom in Panvel. So Panvel and Mumbai locations are like, simple, straightforward line. There are no firewalls, nothing blocks, and full access is given. So it was very easy for the ransomware to percolate from one location to another. So conduct your firewall audits, whether verify your firewall rules are written properly or not. And third one is vulnerability assessment. So VAPT is, there's a whole big chapter. VAPT of IP networks, VAPT of your mobile applications, VAPT of web application, cloud SaaS application. So vulnerability assessment, if you're doing patching, the only way to know yourself whether I'm doing patching well or not is VAPT. So with wherever there is platforms, these 3 things you need to be sure about, or have a periodic process within to prevent yourself as an organization. And the last section was processes. Processes, compliances. So ISO 27001, the most fundamental compliance, which will ensure whether you're protecting yourself from this all this networking, because it covers network services, it covers patching, there are controls for this. Basically, what I'm saying is, so compliances is one, and internal tech audit. So if compliance is too big of a thing, implementing ISO 27001, yes, budget, manpower, investing time. So you can do internal technical audits, which will, make sure that the hardening of your IT network is done properly. Your firewall hardening, your server hardening, your network policies, everything, all these hardened or not. So moral is to protect yourself. Three sections. What I do at people level, I train them, I make them educate themselves, and not just, not give training, but also put them into an exam. Then platform level, I do patching, audit, VAPT. And last but not the least, processes. What do I do as a process so that it's not one day thing? As WannaCry exploited Windows something, there are something new which will always come up. So I should, even as an organization and individual, I should be updating my prevention mechanisms. That's why compliances and audits are meant for. So that's about it. So we saw ransomware, few cases, how it spreads, what are its impacts, and everything. But before we close, there are a few tips. Invest into a better antivirus software and keep it updated. Having one, good. But keeping it updated is also important, because antivirus software, take any Kaspersky or Quickly, they themselves update their libraries, learning different patterns of viruses and malware. So if you are the instance of that antivirus which is installed on your laptop, if it's not updated, what's the use of it? You will not be able to detect the new virus or malware. Focus on network and web applications firewall. Consider monitoring, SIM monitoring, and improve your backup design. So even if entry points are not closed well because of budget or technical challenges, ensuring backup at least, and backup in a remote, isolated, segregated environment from the main setup. Something gets bad, something gets down due to malware, no need to pay, restore, and get up and do your business. So don't let the hackers win. Protect yourself with these tips. One liner takeaways which I would like to share. Ransomware is no longer concentrated in the West, like, America or the statistics that I showed you. India is now highly growing target for them because we are expanding digitally and supply chain ecosystem. We all know, we all read it in newspapers, and it's also part of our daily talks with friends. And another single liner takeaway, ransomware today is not just about malware, it is about your full scale business attack on your data, operations, and reputation. So believe me, cross border rivalry can be so much that, people may just want us to be closed. They should not work only. Some may can intend that just for that purposes. So reputational, dairy operations, and data, everything is at stake. So guys, I'm done here. Now we open for Q&A. So if you have any specific question, I'll address those. If not, you want me to go to specific slide, I'm ready to do that as well.
We'll leave the window open for a while because I'm seeing there is no question has been pasted yet. So, but if it comes up, definitely we cover that.
Yeah.
So if you have some questions, you can, yes, I see someone's raising.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please, Ashish bhai. Hello.
So if he's not
Yes.
able to unmute himself, maybe he can text it.
Yeah. Your mic has been enabled. If you can enable it, or you can also paste your query in chat box. Ashish bhai.
I think you need to unmute yourself.
Yes, yes. So you can also paste your query in chat box.
He can now.
Yeah, we
And
were
your
able
voice
to.
is not audible. Voice is not audible, Ashish bhai.
Yeah. Hi, Ashish sir.
I think we are good to go because I don't see any question further to that. Let's.
Sure. So so maybe Ashish sir, if you're not able to communicate here, you can reach me on LinkedIn or take my email address and say raise your concern. We'll be happy to help you. So thank you, ISACA Chapter Ahmedabad. Thank you for calling me and being able to share my knowledge and experience with you. And any which way, if you have more questions, technical, GRC related regarding ransomware, I'll be happy to talk. So thank you, Jhalak.
Yes.
Thank you, Vishal.
Thank you
Thank you,
so
everyone.
much, ma'am. Yeah, it was a very enriching and enlightening session we all had. And thank you for accepting the invitation to join us for this webinar. And it's a very it's a new enriching topic that we discussed today. I'm sure our members had a lot to take from this session. And if you can I paste your email ID here if someone needs your uh,
Yes,
any guidance, right?
100%. Please do, no problem.
Yes. Sure. I'll.
Yeah. And before we close, I would still again say uh, ISACA is very reputed and very well educated. Technical people work with ISACA, Pune, I'm sure with Ahmedabad and all the chapters. So, guys, let's get responsible because we as auditors are somehow contributing to the strengthening of the cybersecurity of our country. And ransomware being one where we need to be strengthening our country's cybersecurity posture. So do your best. Whatever queries or whatever you can do within your company, within your surrounding to protect us ourselves in this time, it will be great. So that's all I would say.
Yeah,
And
so
happy to
basically
connect
we
you.
have got the one question coming from Ashish Ranpara says that can in ultra viewer as well ransomware may come.
Yes, 100%. Because see, Ultra Viewer, if I put it in Hindi, it will be more effective. Can I?
Yeah, please go ahead.
या सो रैंसम अल्ट्रा व्यूअर जिसने लिखा है इट्स अ कंपनी जो उसका कोड लिखता है सारा एम्बेडेड कोड सो व्हेन वी इंस्टॉल इट ऑन आवर लैपटॉप्स they keep on updating. So Windows, despite of so many years, they keep on updating themselves with some loopholes. So अल्ट्रा व्यूअर के भी खुद loopholes होते रहते हैं और हैकर जो होते हैं ये बैड गाइज ये उनकी कोड बेस उनका ही असेंबली कोड स्टडी करते रहते हैं टू अंडरस्टैंड मैं क्या कौन सा लूपहोल एक्सप्लॉइट करूँ जिससे मैं नेटवर्क में I can exploit it and write a ransomware for it. So ultra viewer ले लो, AnyDesk ले लो, कुछ भी SSH it's a service actually, it's not even a product. So सारी जगह के loop पर study होते रहते हैं. So they are constantly writing codes to get into your network and write anything. So ultra viewer ही नहीं कोई भी होगा सॉफ्टवेयर नया उससे भी हो सकता है.
So what he's asking again is that if he's using a quick heal software, then also the chances of infection are same.
Same, no. Chance of the probability of you getting impacted with ransomware is lesser. Yes. Why? Because quick kill libraries they update themselves and they educate it. The tool educates itself in understanding and identifying the pattern of malware. So the pop-ups that you keep on receiving, that is what it is doing. So having quick heal, the probability is lesser, but next to zero, no. Why? Because 0 day attacks easily होते हैं.
So basically what he asked as well that is that something he needs to put specific to kind of in the quick kill. Does he need to do some sort of changes or something like enhancement at the end user level to kind of protect themselves?
Yeah. So first thing, he has some antivirus running good. Uh, the usage of pen drive, he needs to monitor that कि pen drive कितना use किया जा रहा है और पेन ड्राइव सिर्फ लैपटॉप और खुद के लिए यूज करे तो ठीक है अगर वो पेन ड्राइव दुनिया में कहीं जा रहा है इट्स बीन यूज्ड एट मल्टीपल प्लेसेस then you should clean your pen drive every now and then. Clean as in hard formatted and just store the data back into it. So pen drive usage, the same points which I gave. Pen drive usage, having antivirus implemented, and make sure that quick heal or any such thing also blocks your visits to malicious websites. No torrents, no online games, not going to websites to watch a free TV series or web series. So not to visit bad websites, not to share your pen drive use your pen drive at bad locations, having updated antivirus malware, all these checks protects you enough.
Right. That answers the questions.
Well, as the
Uh,
admin, I do have one question. I mean, that we can take it very
yes.
formally. So that's like the what we see recent cases that modern exfiltration when it happens, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it seems like the even sometime it has been visible that the modern antivirus even sometimes does not understand these code as a malicious code, because the signature is kind of having a positive signature. How do
Perfect.
that basically can be taken care by?
You are so bang on point. I can understand you're a technical person yourself. So you said the signature pattern mapping, antivirus software, Quick Heal, Kaspersky, Trend Micro, whichever you take, they may not be that great to match the pattern and give you an alert. Why? Because the hacker is becoming so smart that he is able to fool those. So
Correct.
antivirus is not like मैंने ये लगा दिया मतलब मैं हो गया सिक्योर, ऐसे नहीं है. It's not that, it's not like how it works. That's why it's good to have. It will protect you 90% at least, if not 100. But what to answer your query, this gap is becoming closer to closer. At least 90% secure. I'm saying maybe it's actually you are 80% secure, because with AI, hackers have gotten very creative in their codings. As you
Yeah.
said, malware का signature sometimes it may say it may not be detect only because वो signature pattern कैसा है एक antivirus का वो भी वो सीखने लगे. So hackers are now even learning how antivirus or quick kill is studying a pattern key to flag it if it's a malware or signature, and they break that itself. So with AI and everything, even the bad guys are getting smarter.
Yeah.
So
So
what can we do? We can just work very in a silo, not of you much USB, not visiting bad sites. So as much as uh, entry points, you restrict yourself from visiting these entry points, you are securing yourself more.
okay, makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you. So great. As my email is already been shared, so other than this, if anyone has queries, please share over email. I'll resolve those. And again, ISACA chapter Ahmedabad, thank you for calling upon me.
Thank you for your time.
Sure, no problem. Chalo, I'll log out.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.